This project is designed for the second semester for virtual enterprise students. Ideally, it would be best to be in the first semester and be one of the first things that the marketing research department did. Time constraints due to the timing and the date of the first trade show make this impossible, however. Before beginning design of the survey, we should do some secondary research to find out exactly about the market that we're going to be competing in. Our company, for this particular example, sells high-quality dog products, leashes and food and so on and so forth, all made in the United States. To find what we're really looking for, the questions that we use are very, very important. The questions really get at what we're trying to find out about what products we should sell, how we should price them, and how to promote them, and where should we promote them. We also need to find out about our target market, and we have to look at these demographic kinds of questions. We're going to put those probably at the end of the survey. We don't want to put people off from answering those questions right off the bat, and once they've got some time invested in answering the questions, if those the demographic type questions are at the end, they might be more inclined to push the submit button. We really want to find out without bias, so we need to use open-ended type questions, true, false, multiple choice, because those are much more measurable. We should also provide a comment box for people to add comments or ideas of their own. We're going to use the internet to have this survey completed, and we will probably need to offer some sort of incentive to the people answering the questionnaires, like a cents off coupon or a deal on some of the products that we're trying to sell. We first need to make sure that we also qualify that the people that are answering our survey really do have a dog and own pets. And we're going to use what are called radio buttons to capture the output. Here's an example of what our survey looks like. You can see here that it's called Designer Dog is the name of our company, and we have a graphic here of our dog. Our slogan or logos is up here. We tell people that this is a marketing research survey, and we want to ask them here, first of all, these are qualifying questions. Do you own a dog? Do you have internet access? Where do you purchase your food? At the grocery store? Or a pet store? This happens to be a pet store. So again, we're trying to capture all of the input that our customers are answering here. How much do they spend on dog food each month? And you can see there's other questions that have to relate to all of the different kinds of things we're trying to find. There's questions for the product. Our numbers 8, 9, 10, 13, 16, 17, and 30. The questions trying to find out how to price our product are 7, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31. The promotion questions 15, 21, 22. And again, you can look at the tutorial and see this in a little more detail. We also, when it comes to the place, we're looking at questions 4, 5, and 6, 12, 14, 18. Those are the questions about Costco and the pet stores and everything else, trying to determine if that's where the people buy their food. And then toward the bottom, we said we were going to ask the demographic questions at a later point in time, and we're going to put those down toward the bottom of our screen. And these are things like their name, address, phone number, email, so on and so forth, so we can see, get that information. Here we go. Email address will be important, so we can maybe follow up with some ads or questions. And then there's a comment box, and then we click the submit button. Our dilemma today in doing the survey involves how many people do we need to ask to complete our survey and have the results representative of the entire population of dog owners. It would be impractical and costly to ask all dog owners to answer the questions. It's influenced by a number of factors, including the purpose of the study, population size of dog owners, and the risk of getting an unrepresentative sample. We also need to account for sampling error. In addition to the above factors, we need to consider 3 criteria to determine the appropriate sample sizes. The first one is level of precision. Sampling error is the range in which the true value of the population is estimated to be. This is often expressed as a percentage. For example, a plus or minus 5% in a survey of who should be president. If our findings are that one candidate is favored by 70% of the voters, then we can assume that between 65 and 75% are in favor of that candidate. The level of confidence or risk is when a population is repeatedly sampled. The average value of the attribute obtained by those samples is equal to the true population value. The values are distributed normally around the true value called the mean. Some will have a higher value, some will have a lower value. In a normal population, 95% of the survey values are within 2 standard deviations of the mean. This means that if a 95% confidence interval is chosen, that 95 out of 100 samples will have true population value. You can increase the validity of your study by increasing the confidence level to 99% or lowering it to 90%. The degree of variability in the attributes or concepts being measured refers to the distribution of attributes in the population. The more heterogeneous a population is, the larger the sample size is required to a given precision. The more homogeneous a population, the smaller sample size can be taken. A proportion of 0.5 indicates the maximum variability in a population and is often used in determining a more conservative sample. To come with an estimate of variability, simply take a reasonable guess of the size of smaller concept you're trying to measure. Here's a sample size calculator. You can see the equation up above. We can click on confidence interval of 95% plus or 5%, and to get a true sample with those measurements, we need a 384 sample. Let's change it up just a little bit. We want to clear the numbers from the sheet. There we go. And that clears the form. And we're going to set it a little bit different. Let's go with a 99% confidence interval at 50% again, and level of 4%. Calculate the sample size. And you can see this sample size is 1,037. Now we're going to generate some random numbers. This particular program is set up to generate random numbers for different size populations. We're going to pick 10,000 because that's what our population is approximately. And if we click the random number button key, we will get a random number every time we click it. We're going to write these numbers down or maybe key them into Excel and then sort them later. But we're going to do this, in our case, 271 times, since that's the size of the sample that we've determined. So we're trying to find out of the 10,000, 271 random numbers. You can also clear the worksheet if you want to by hitting the reset key and then put the numbers back in again. You'll notice also that the program keeps track of the number of clicks for you, so you can see exactly where you are and how many more times you have to go until you find the total number in your sample. Here's an example. If we put them into Excel, you can see we made a column for record numbers, so you just create that and put them in numerical order, and we wanted to have the number of our sample. In our case that we chose is 271, so you can see there's 271. And then every time we click our random generator number program, we write or key in that random number next to the record numbers. These record numbers are going to be part of the file that we're going to put together. So you can see the first one was 7647 and so on. If you can open 2 applications at the same time, say with Windows 7, this job goes relatively quickly. The next thing we want to do is we're going to sort these numbers from low to high. So we click on the column that we want to sort in Excel, and then we go up and we click the data button, and we say that we want to sort, and then click the sort box, and from that drop down list select the column that you wish to sort by, which is the random number column. Select the other column, that's the record number column. Tell Excel how you want to sort it from lowest to highest. And then when you're all done, you click OK, and then you're going to want to print out your list. This will help us find duplicates because we don't want to have duplicate numbers. We're probably going to get a few of them, so we're going to want to weed those out. If we get a few extra ones, it's or a few short of 271. That's not a very big problem for us. So we want to print this list out here, and then we're going to take the next step of making the file.